In the recent days, we've been hearing a lot about this new thing called AI browsers. And it's a topic that has a lot of doubt because people don't really know what to expect with them yet. And there's new and new AI companies coming out with these so-called AI browsers that the top searches for this AI browser are AI browsers safe? Are they worth it? Are they even useful? I'm going to be daily using the ChatGPT Atlas AI browser for 7 days, like an average user would. I'm going to be every day using it for productivity or just normal life and normal questions. I'm going to be seeing if they're actually useful. Are they beneficial or are they just all this AI hype? I had all of these questions too, but one thing I realized was that AI browsers are something that can be either really good or really bad. And so this video is going to be all about testing these AI browsers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run a test of 7 days. Basically, all of my Google Chrome activities are going to be transferred into this Atlas AI browser. At the end of day 7, after I'm done with all my testing, I'm going to look at how this browser impacted me and how I could have done that better or worse with the regular browser. And the first step we have in this experiment is to go ahead and download it. We're going to go ahead and search Atlas AI browser. And we have ChatGPT Atlas, the AI browser, right here. That's the first thing that pops up. So I am going to click on the link and we can click download for macOS since that is what I am on. And something I find really crazy about these browsers is that as soon as you type in the words AI browsers, the first thing that you find is, are AI browsers safe? That just shows how much doubt there is to AI browsers, and that's kind of the thing that I'll be addressing in this video. So before we get started with actually downloading it, I kind of want to see what this is about. So I'm going to go ahead and look at their introduction to ChatGPT Atlas here. And the first thing we have here is a little video introduction on ChatGPT Atlas. So as you guys may have seen, I kind of skipped a bunch of the video because my attention span is super cooked, but I got the gist of it, I think, and I think it's a really good concept. Like the fact that you can just look at a hike and then you can tell it to find nearby hikes or book a hike for me, and you can automate that whole process for you just through this browser. I think that's pretty cool. But I think all of this is really based on its execution, because if OpenAI executed this right, it could turn out to be great and really useful. But another drawback of AI browsers is that they are not safe. Like I told you in the beginning, the main search is, are AI browsers safe on Google? And that people have searched that for good reason, because AI browsers, they don't have all the privacy protections and malware protection that normal browsers usually have, because they're built for AI. So it stores a lot of your data, it requires a lot of your data, and when attackers come in, they have access to all that data if there's a leak. So it can just, all your sensitive information could potentially be released. But if they build good protection and they build a safe system, then it could be pretty safe. But you never know. You always want to be safe on the internet. That's enough of me talking and wasting your time. So I'm going to click download. And it led me to an external site. That's the ChatGPT Atlas main site. And oh, this would have been a lot more useful to look at when I was reading about what it was. All right, so we're going to download for macOS. I'm pretty sure this browser is only available on Mac, so this is like one of the first things I've heard of being only available on macOS. Like usually nothing's available on macOS. And there we go. We have ChatGPT Atlas downloaded. I've opened up the app right here and it says log in with ChatGPT. I'm not going to log in just yet because this is like basically day 0. Day 1 of our experiment is going to start tomorrow since it's pretty late at night. It's 11. So yeah, this was just the starting phase where I introduced the video to guys. Now tomorrow I'm going to be having my first experience, my first taste of this AI browser. So transition to the next day in 3, 2, 1. Alright, so here we are on the homepage of ChatGPT Atlas, and it looks like we've got 4 suggestions. Find the best restaurants near me, build a weekly plan and grocery list, compare phone plans, find movies and shows that I recently viewed. So we're going to be exploring all of those soon enough. Actually, I have the shopping list thing tomorrow, so I'm going to take a look at that tomorrow. And yeah, but for today, I'm just going to head into Google Docs. So it's kind of weird how the search bar like just pops up in a separate chat tab once you click that. And there's a ChatGPT sidebar right here. And yeah, I also need to update apparently because it says there's a new update. So I'm gonna create a blank text document. And now so the whole document thing I was talking about is I just need to write like an essay about climate change in Spanish. So obviously this is made up. This is not a real assignment, but you know it's just something that I'm going to be testing the features of this with. This sidebar makes things a lot faster. Oh wow, so it just gave the whole thing to me as like a big block that I can just click insert and it automatically puts it inside my document. So I told it to translate the essay that it just wrote into English now. Alright, so it's got the essay right here. It looks pretty good. Looks like something that a student would write. The whole essay is 5 paragraphs long, so not too short, not too long. I would want it to be a little bit longer, but that's fine. It's used like good vocabulary, it translates correctly. I think that one's good. But now I gotta actually get some work done. This isn't just all like testing, playing around with it, because I've gotta actually work on here. Like I can't use Google Chrome for anything now. So the next thing I have left is making my new YouTube bio, because I'm gonna have to make one in Spanish with like a Spanish translation. I'm gonna click on Ask ChatGPT, and then I typed in write an essay about the impact of climate change in Spanish. It's got the whole thing here, and then I proofread it, and I told it to translate it to English because I don't know Spanish that well, just to make sure. And it gave me the whole thing, and you know, the translation's right. It did everything pretty well, I think. So yeah, everything's formatted good, separated into 5 paragraphs, and that's the whole thing. I think that might just be all for today. Today was like a really light day. This is all I'm doing for day 1. Tomorrow we'll get a little bit more in depth with it. Since it's day 2, we're gonna do like a whole shopping list thing. We're gonna test a bunch of its features with to see if it can like add stuff to cart and do it all for you. So yeah, that's day 1. Welcome to day 2. Today it's mainly going to be testing like the main parts of this browser. Can I easily access the AI features, and also just doing my daily tasks every day. Like I'll do my personal stuff on there, I'll do my YouTube stuff on there, and see how the AI speeds up the process. After that, we'll test it using the shopping list test, which I already told you guys about. So yeah. Now I'm gonna start on all my personal and daily tasks for YouTube and other stuff, and I'll get back to you guys once I finish that, and I'll let you know if the AI actually helped in that. Yeah, so one thing I already noticed about Atlas is that the moment you go in, instead of a normal Google search browser, it has all these suggestions that it learns based on your activity. So it stores a lot of that, but that's another reason why this browser is considered not safe. So, you know, I wouldn't do any like financial transactions on this browser. So I just finished all my tasks that I had to do for the day, and after this, we're gonna do the shopping list test. But as for my thoughts on this browser so far, the AI features are, if they're there, they're really hidden. Because this thing should have a tutorial or something, because it's hard to figure out exactly what ways you can use the AI to integrate it into your like personal activities. For example, like I was putting subtitles on the YouTube video, and maybe there is like a AI subtitle generator that I can just pull out of the sidebar, but it doesn't show up there because everything's super hidden. So I feel like they should make more of a point with what features are there and what aren't. So now we're gonna do the shopping list test, and I don't really plan out how we'd start on this, except that I guess we could just type into the ChatGPT search bar over here, make me a grocery list. I believe we can just tell it to purchase it. Okay, now it's asking where I want to shop, so that's a good sign because that means it is capable of doing it. I'm gonna put Walmart. Okay, so it's saying that it can add everything for me, or tell me to add it manually and just tell me everything like that like I need to add to the list. So the whole reason I was doing this was so it could auto add because I saw that feature, but I think there's no point of doing this if it's not just gonna auto add. So I couldn't figure out how this exactly works, and I also couldn't get it to agree to do it. But I've heard that this feature is pretty gimmicky, so it can work sometimes. Other times it doesn't work. And yeah, I asked it for some different features that I can test on this browser that are like different than just using ChatGPT on Google Chrome, and it can do price comparison. Well, these are all things it claims to do. Maybe it might not work, but we can try it out. Price comparison, product search, organizing grocery lists, and local store help, and cart planning without logging in. So I think we should start on the price comparison. And if you'll notice up here, there are 5 different tabs: videos, news, images, search, and home. Home is the regular ChatGPT that you're always using, and then search is just search results for all of this. It doesn't give any actual answers. We have officially made it to day 3 of the challenge. Since this is day 3, we're going to do things a little bit different here. We're going to start off with an email, testing its writing features, and then we're going to go into the work. So as you can see, I've got the email page prepped up here. And then right here, I'm going to write just text here as sort of a sample text. You can see it on my screen. And then I'm going to put subject here in the subject line. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the text. And then there's a little thing. It's kind of like Grammarly, and it pops up right here. You click on it, and it's minimized, and then it opens up in the ChatGPT icon once you hover over it. But now a little tab pops up when we click on it, and it says describe your change. So I'm going to say write a 2-paragraph email about, let's say 2-paragraph email about how you need to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Yeah, that turned out pretty good. So I could literally just send this email right here and I would be done. And yeah, that's the email segment. But now we're gonna go ahead and test some other parts of it. Like one thing I really want to check out, we might do this on later days or we might not do it at all, but I wanted to check out the personalized planning, because you can ask it to like put in a travel itinerary, find websites for travel. So actually we might just do that on day 5. Something to note while you're making a normal Google search is that when you type in your command in the normal search bar, if you click enter, just like Google, it's going to register as a ChatGPT prompt. So in order to actually search Google from ChatGPT Atlas, you have to hold down command and then click enter. At least if you're on Mac. This is only available on Mac, so I'm assuming you are. And yeah, so we made that search, and right now I'm going to do a little travel itinerary thing. I'm searching 12 places to visit in Belgium. So I'm going to go into the first website that pops up. Then say I don't want to read all this. I'm going to say plan. I'm going to click on plan a trip. The suggestions are really smart. They just appear right there. So right now I'm telling it to make travel itinerary and send all the flight websites and the hotel websites that I need to book. Basically, I'm just going to tell it to send me all the links that I need, and this way I could literally like plan a trip right here in 2 minutes. versus having to search all of it. So the travel itinerary is done with all 7 days, and then all the websites are right here too. I could literally go into there and just pay for it, and I would be done. So yeah, that shows how easy this makes things. My day 3 experience with this was actually surprisingly good. So far, my rating's like, I won't say the exact number, but I'm assuming this is my prediction of what the rating will be. I think it's gonna be around 7 to 8, but the problem is that's still not enough to justify purchase. But who knows? We'll see. Maybe it changes my mind with something really cool. But today, I actually use these AI features in some of my daily work because I'm using Solo Learn to learn C++, and if I'm ever stuck on an exercise, I can click the Ask ChatGPT and just get the answer right away and have it explain it to me rather than pay like for the premium version and then have the AI explain it to me. That's built into the app. So it's really useful for those sorts of things. When you don't understand something or when you need a faster way to understand something, you just click Ask ChatGPT, summarize, and yeah, you're done. It's really fast, it's easy. It's I think that's a really good way to use this feature. And so yeah, I think that's it for day 3. We'll see you on day 4. All right, now I'm gonna get to actually working on my stuff, and I'll get back to you guys once I'm done. So it's day 4. I almost lost count there. That's how many days I've done this, and we're past the halfway point, but we are now on day 4, and today's gonna be kind of a short day because I've already finished all my work for the day, so you won't see much of that. But I think today's just kind of gonna be like an exploring day, just looking at overall what they have, and just like trying to find new features. And that's gonna be today until the rest of the days, unless we have something else to do, which I don't remember. So let's go and just get started. So before I thought that in the home screen they have a whole list of stuff and I showed you guys it. It's always 4 things. I thought it was just personalized like recommendations, but this is actually updating news because it's been changing like every single day when I open it. Today they have like news about like different movies, you know, and now it's recommending me group grocery history by category. Wait, let's try that because it's gonna look at my search history and then group the groceries that I searched and the recipes that I also searched. So, wow, that's kind of cool. It says it's searching my browser memories. That's search history. So the first one was easy key lime pie recipe, which is correct. I visited it on day 2 or day 3. I don't remember. I think it was day 3. No, day 2. Um, and then visited the cherry tomatoes. I went to the Randall's product page, because we were comparing the prices, and it recommended me that when I did that Ask ChatGPT thing on that day. And yeah, so it looked through my recent browsing history for food and grocery related pages. That's pretty much all I just did. So that was cool. And then it's actually saving all your chats here. So every time you click on something or search something and you don't go directly to Google, it's putting it all in this history bar just like a normal ChatGPT would. And I feel like this browser is a lot of adapting a lot from Google and incorporating some elements of ChatGPT into everything. So, for example, like you can still search with Google if you want. It always gives you the option to, but they want you to search with ChatGPT just to use ChatGPT as your Google. And then if you can't find an answer from ChatGPT, then it's something you should go to Google for. And that's interesting because even when you go to like one of your chats, the only ChatGPT page, I've already said this, but the only ChatGPT page is the home page. Then you have the search, images, and videos, and news, and they are all from Google. So yeah, So right now I was just browsing YouTube on this to see how much it's going to take to lag it up, and it seems to be running pretty smoothly actually. So I'm just going to play some of my YouTube videos here. Honestly, I've been really excited. So I'm on my YouTube page, and now I'm going to ask it to recommend me some videos based on the one I'm watching, just to see how it interprets it. And wow, they already have a built-in prompt for me to do that. I'm gonna ask it to recommend me some channels. So it's identified a whole bunch of channels. We're gonna check all of them. First up is Tech. That one's right. iDevice Help. That's also right. Pay It Forward. That's also right. Is it Pay It or Pay It? I don't know. Brennan Bush is right. I know. How Tech. Let's go to How Tech. Um, that's also right. Tech with wait, it's not How Tech. It's How Techs, but there's like 3 channels named How Tech. The only actual How Tech has 1 subscriber, so I don't think that's the one it's talking about. And then after that, right here, we've got Tech with Brett. I know that's right, probably. Yeah. And then Mobile Repair Guru. Yeah. And this is E. Yeah. Texiv. All right. It's already hallucinated twice. This is the 3rd time. Um, Texiv does not exist, so it's just not a channel. Um, Marquez Brownlee. Yeah. Proper Honest Tech. I'm just typing in the ones that I think are wrong. Oh, and this one's right. Okay. So, yeah. 2 times it messed up. It gave us fake channel names that don't actually exist in real life. So I think that's enough for day 4, and we can wrap it up. See you tomorrow. Welcome to day 5. So today, this is a feature that we've probably already have tested, but I'm going to start off with so I'm going to do my work later. So I'm going to start off with this feature that we're testing, and we've already kind of done it because it's basically just summarizing an article. But this one's a really long research paper on social media and mental health. Because, scholarly articles can be really, really long. So I want to see how fast it can pick everything up and summarize it all, but condense that information into only 5 bullet points. So let's say ask ChatGPT, summarize it into so I asked it summarize into 5 bullet points. I want to see how well it can convey all the information in just a few bullet points. And that was really fast. It's done now. Wow. Okay, so this article for your information is like I'm scrolling down it. It's taking a really, really long time. It's like so many pages long. And this just answered my question, looked over the whole thing, summarized it all in 5 bullet points. So, yeah, pretty good summary. It has the conclusion, it has the experiment, the discussion. I think that's a good summary. So we are going kind of fast today because I want to go direct and show you the rest of the features that we haven't explored so we can finish it all in 7 days. And yeah, the next one is I'm on an Amazon product right now, a levitating shoe display, floating sneaker stand. And, this is kind of cool. It's something I've always wanted to get. You can hold your sneaker like this and it works using magnets. So it looks like your shoe's actually floating in the air. And So right here, we've got the product, we've got the reviews, we've got everything, but I want to know if it's actually worth it because there's 202 reviews, 3.7 stars. I don't know if it's that's good or bad. What are they talking about? What are the customer complaints about? What are like the main things that set people off about this product? Like, if there's anything really, really big with this product, I want it to tell me that and summarize the whole product. So let's go to Ask ChatGPT, and first we're actually gonna test the customer complaints and stuff. So summarize reviews, and then we're gonna say if I like it, I'll say get best price, and then if I don't like it, then I'll say find out alternatives. So first, let's summarize the reviews. So this is taking a little bit more time than the just to summarize the articles we're taking. I'm not too sure why. I think it's because it has to go there and actually check the website itself rather than with checking what's on my screen. Oh, that's not good. So basically, it just said the Amazon product page currently has no visible verified reviews, and the listing is marked currently unavailable. Detailed verified review excerpts are limited. So it basically said there's no reviews, but I can clearly see here there's like 50 of them. They're all down here, and they all include pictures. They're all detailed. There's some 1-star reviews. There's some 4-star reviews. There's so many reviews. I don't know why it said that. So that's not good. Um, So now after that, it just gave me kind of like a made up uh, review on whether or not it's worth it. So yeah, I did not like that. So the next thing we're gonna do is ask it find the best price. So I think these product pages, like the analyzing it takes a little bit more time for this because it's not having to just read it. It has to really understand different sources and like actually go to the web and search that product up and then find out more about it. It's not as straightforward. So right here we've got, yeah, it gave me the best available price. Okay, how much does this cost? That's already wrong because this is $85 and it said the best deal was $150. That's I don't know why it's messing up today. It hasn't gotten a single thing right except for the article. Um, all right, now we're gonna do find me alternatives to a magnetic stand. Because what if I don't want to use this stand? Like, what if I want some other way to hold my shoe? So I asked it for alternatives to show off my shoe collection versus a levitating shoe display. And then lighted display cabinets, that sounds good. And then acrylic shoe display riser sets. Grid shelving or shadow box frames. So it gave me a whole list and then it gave me pros and cons. And then it says I can find specific products for any of these styles. And I'm going to say yes to that. I'm going to see if it actually gives me a real product or not because I'm starting to doubt this thing. Let's say specific product for, what was number one? Floating wall shelves. All right, I'm going to test all these links. Wait, why can't I open it in a new tab? It's so weird. Look, I don't know if you can see this, but I don't know if you can see this, but it's making me view it from a new tab. Like I can't view it from a new tab. So right here we've got the product, and you can see me in the corner there in the reflection. But right here we've got the product, and yeah, I literally cannot like view it in a new tab. So I'm gonna click on this link, and then it just opens it like this. Oh wait, a minute ago it wasn't loading. Okay, so yeah, that's real. I'm just testing all the links to make sure. And then we've got Wally floating wall shelves. See, this is what I was talking about. It takes a minute to load. Uh, we've got Wonderful Wave floating shelves. Okay, this is real. I'm just gonna click the arrows to look through all of them. So next up, we've got Rico floating display shelves. That's real. Yep. So a lot of these, I think all of these are real, but some of them, I don't think anyone would actually want to buy because the way it selects products is really weird. Like I asked it for some modern wall shelves, and it's just giving me like some of them are modern, some of them are really good, and some of them are also pretty bad. Like they're just bad looking in terms of appearance. So okay, so at least you know what, I'll give it that one. At least all the links are actually working. They're functioning links. So yeah. Now I can ask it to research the best floating wall shelves, but let's not do that because I feel like that'd take a lot of time. But you know what? That'd be a good test. Let's see how long it takes. Now it's giving me a quiz. So that was 30 seconds to load the quiz. So this definitely took really long, but it was also a little shorter than I thought. And the total time came out to be about 1 minute and 40 seconds ish. So I still should not have to wait that long just to find uh like find it research some floating wall shelf pics. So we've got all the research done. These look real. Yeah. It's got a bunch of links. And it even shows how if they're like out of stock or something, but I don't know why I would suggest if they're out of stock. It should just go to the next one. It's made a really long, comprehensive list on all the products. I'm just gonna double check them to make sure they're all real. Yep, yep, yep. And for some reason, it recommended me Vivo Watch 5. It's $180 on Alibaba, and that's really weird because I was asking for wall shelves. So I'm not gonna give it that because, like, why would you recommend a watch when they're clearly asking for shelves? Because you can see the list of all the products and it shows the watch. So that's really weird. Anyways, that is it for day 5. Um, see you day 6. Hey there. Um, we are now in day 6, the second to last day. It's pretty hard to believe that we've made it this far, but here we are. So this is day 6, and I'm not gonna be doing any work in these days anymore because, well, I've already like reviewed the maximum capabilities of this browser, I feel like. So there's not really any point of me like showing me myself on screen uh doing all that work because it's just a waste of time and we can explore some more features with that time. So yeah, I'm just gonna put this right here. Okay. So basically what I've done is we're gonna just try to explore some more. Random Click on some random different like programs and stuff to tell ChatGPT to do stuff. The first one I have set up is a restaurant booking. I've always wanted to use this because it would just be really useful to just talk to it and say, make me a reservation at this time for this restaurant. And so I told it to find an Italian restaurant in my location and just for me, upscale at 6 p.m. tomorrow. All right, so now it asked for my location and I said San Francisco. Please don't dox me. And then it found Aquarello, a Michelin-starred fine dining with a seasonal Italian buffet menu, perfect for an elevated solo dinner. So I said, yeah, book that for one. And it gave me 3 options. It can call and book it for me, which I'm blown away by it. I didn't know it could actually call and book it for me. And then it can draft a booking request email to send, or it can try an online reservation link. I'll say 1. If it doesn't work, then 3. Well, actually, I'm gonna say 3 and then what? So online availability check. They do not always release 6 p.m. single guest table online. They only show later times. So, all right, the best path is the phone reservation. So now it says it can't place the actual phone call itself, but it can make it as close to done as possible. So it gave me a little 30-second script. Um, okay. So, I mean, the problem with it is it said it would call, and it didn't. So that would be cool if it could. But I mean, so far I haven't found any real value in this browser, unless you're like a power user of ChatGPT, and you want a way to like mainstream all your ChatGPT stuff, and you just want you just want it to replace Google in terms of like search. So, because like for regular people, they don't use ChatGPT that often. They don't need ChatGPT that often. We have Gemini AI preview whenever you Google search. So I feel like this is only for people who are really into ChatGPT and that kind of thing. I'm not, so I would just use Google Chrome personally. But I am gonna release my like final verdict tomorrow. So yeah, that I'm gonna give it my rating and say, is it actually worth getting this browser? So the next thing we're gonna do is um I have been feeding it some data. I don't know if I told you guys this, but I've been watching like random Marvel YouTube videos, so it knows what kind of profile I have. And now it's giving me suggestions based on that. Marvel chronology map, MCU pages by topic, planned Marvel marathon, and group shopping pages by domain. All right, so I'm gonna do groups shopping pages by domain, and then I'm gonna go to new tab and do planned Marvel marathon. And I can actually have 2 chats open at once, and they both work. So that's kind of cool. A 4-night Marvel marathon plan based on Rotten Tomatoes, all Marvel movies in order. So it uses articles from online, which is also there in the regular ChatGPT without the browser. But right here we've got, okay, it mapped out all of them. That's kind of cool. So the browser, like the shopping history one, that's correct. I think. Yeah, it's correct. Wait, yeah, yep, all of them are right. And then for this we've got, I guess it recommended some good movies for the movie marathon. Um, yeah, it made it in like chronological order. I think you could really use this to plan some stuff, but again, you can just do this on a regular browser with regular ChatGPT. It's just easier to do it in this browser. So I think we've tested like pretty much everything that this can do, but we've got a little bit of stuff left for day 7. So see you in day 7. Welcome to day 7. This is the final day. This is where everything's gonna be revealed. We're gonna have like maybe 1 or 2 exploration uh topics before we actually dive into the summary of the video and the whole like verdict that I'm gonna be giving, the rating, whether or not this browser is worth it. All of it is gonna be today. So you guys can see my photo booth right here. It's been here like for the past few days because I just want you guys to see another view of it, and also it just looks cool to see it on one camera. So yeah, the first exploration we have is actually gonna be exploring what other features we missed, and if we haven't missed any, then we're done. So actually, we're gonna ask ChatGPT because what can I do with ChatGPT Atlas browser? Give me a full checklist so I know I tried out every cool feature. Switch between side chat and full page chat. We already did that. Ask a question without pasting anything. Yep, we already did that. Ask summarize this page. We already did that. Ask explain this page like I'm 12/5/an expert. I think we already did that. And then and that's basically the same thing as summarize this page. So and then page intelligence, giving the key takeaways, what's the author's main argument, what's missing or biased here, fact check the claims, translate it into another language, turn this article into bullet points / cheat sheet, turn this into a tweet, thread, or YouTube script. I think we could try the last one because that's actually different. So I'm going to search up on Google. Research paper, because this is the article we used earlier. So now we're on here. I'm going to ask ChatGPT. What is that we were doing? Oh yeah. Is it worth the price? So right here, um, that's not what we're doing, but all right. So we're gonna do turn this into a tweet / thread / YouTube script. First, we're gonna do turn this into a tweet. So it's loading right now. Here's a tweet-sized summary of the article you're reading. Social media isn't at all good or bad for teens. Research shows moderate links between heavy use and depression, anxiety, sleep loss, and cyberbullying, but also real benefits like connection, support, and self-expression. Balance matters. Now we got turn it into a YouTube script. All right, so we got the whole hook, intro, main point, and then we got main point 3, conclusion, and yeah, that's it. Outro. All right, now we're gonna do explain it to me like I'm 5. We're just hitting it with back-to-back questions just to test how well it understands it. I say that's a good explanation. All right. Um. Yeah. So it gave like a little social media is like candy, and it's comparing it to candy, which makes sense because a 5-year-old would know about candy. Would know about candy. So now I'm gonna ask it to compare this to other research. So it found that other research articles have similar findings, which, makes sense because it's about the impact of social media, and this is by a highly acclaimed publication. So now I'm going to do critique this research. Let's see how well it critiques it. Strengths. One major strength is that it is a systematic review. Limitations are that the studies included are cross-sectional. Data was collected at one point in time. This makes it impossible to determine whether social media use leads to mental health. Social media use leads to mental health problems, or whether individuals experiencing distress are more likely to use social media heavily. And it has a lot of self-reported data, so that could lead to inaccuracies. That's what it says. So yeah, it did that test pretty well. What else? We can do food, travel, and local research. We just did that a couple days ago. And then, oh, we haven't tried this one. You can go to Wikipedia, and then I'll just go to random. Wait. All right, let's go to today's featured article. It's about New England Revolution and international competition. So I'm gonna ask it to turn this into study notes. This is a pretty hard one because these probably aren't going to be studied anywhere. But let's just convert it into study notes and see how it does it. All right, that's cool. Yeah, so this is about soccer if you guys don't know. And it's the revolution in international competition. So that probably means, all right, so it's New England Revolution is the club, and it's showing like their performance in international competition. The notes are pretty good. They're pretty long, but it's showing their history overall, and yeah, it covers the whole article. So next we got, all right, we can ask it to improve this writing using this page as a reference. I'm gonna ask it to improve the opening paragraph because the whole thing would be too long. And yeah, it improved it. It's more neutral and more academic. You can open multiple tabs. Okay. Compare all of my tabs. So I've got compare all my tabs. I can search through all my tabs and know which ones I'm using. Tab 1, restaurant booking request, that's been open since yesterday. Tab 2, ChatGPT Atlas browser features, that was today. Tab 3, New England Revolution. So it does know which tabs I'm using at one time, not just the tab I'm on, but all of them. That's cool. All right, I'm gonna ask it to turn this article into debate. All right, a structured debate format. Debate. How successful have the New England Revolution been in terms of international competition? Affirmative side, yes, they have been successful. Negative side, no, they have not. So it just made a good debate with some rebuttals and points that you can use for a class debate. So final, I tried everything check. The check that it gave us was from ChatGPT when I asked it to give me a feature checklist. Have we used side chat on articles? Yes, we have. Have we used it for shopping? Yes, we have. Have we used it across multiple tabs? We just did. Have we used it for learning? Yes, we have. Have we used it for buying decisions? Yep. Have we used it for content creation? Yep. Have we used it without copying text manually? Yes, we have. Okay. I think that means we're done with the actual testing. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about why I think this browser is actually not worth getting for most people. First, it's the obvious privacy concerns. They have so much access to your data, and it's not because like they're trying to purposely steal your data. It just they have that much access to it. The bot needs access to all the data in order for you to automate everything. So unless you really need to, this browser really isn't worth getting. Second of all, if you're gonna do anything important on here, just do it on a different browser. This could store that information and they may not have great safety protocols. Also, this browser isn't worth it if you're not super into ChatGPT. If you don't need to use ChatGPT that much, that's definitely a better choice. This browser is it's like a hassle to manage because it can get really laggy, but that's not what it excels at, right? It's not about speed, but the main product that they're selling is ChatGPT. All AI browsers are like this. They don't focus on the speed of it, the connectivity, all that. They're trying to target a different market here. I think it's a good AI browser, but is it a good browser overall? No. And I think that officially concludes day 7. And I also think this is my longest video. So if you enjoyed this, please subscribe, give this video a like. Thank you for watching. Shout out to all my subscribers. See you in the next video. Bye.